Hey guys, welcome to the channel.
Hello.
We've got Claire here again tonight, guys. We're gonna do so. This is officially Top 10 Tuesdays, and this is a special Monday edition. Mike Rinder and Aaron Smith-Levin had a prior engagement that was already scheduled. So they're going to do Monday. Aaron's going to do Mondays with Mike and Mark tomorrow on a special Tuesday edition. And we're going to do Top 10 Tuesdays tonight's special Monday edition. So, we didn't want to just cancel both. So we just decided to do it this way.
To keep everyone on their toes, honey.
Exactly. And also, Claire's back because I tell you, every time we do a video that Claire's in, people go crazy and they love Claire. So I was like, I'll at least have her in here maybe 2 times a week if I can.
Oh, and, you're so sweet.
And we're going to do a new thing where we basically are going to start interviewing Scientologists or ex-Sea Org members. More Sea Org members because there's a lot more of those evidently that are willing to talk about stuff, and because I have a special access to Claire, I figured we would start with her. And
you sure do. I'm captive upstairs.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do though is we're gonna do a quick interview with Claire. And then we're going to show off all of the David Miscavige Shoops that were sent in the past week. And then you guys are going to vote down on those in the comments. Where's my finger? There you go. You're going to vote down there in the comments. And then whichever one gets the most votes or comments, then the next week we'll announce that. And we'll announce the winner. And then we'll show the next week's of Shoops. And if you missed it, David Miscavige, it's probably a handful of things that he doesn't like. He doesn't like getting dragged into lawsuits. He doesn't like people. He doesn't like pictures of himself on the internet in any kind of funny or jokey picture. He's not having that. And he doesn't like people telling stories about him or anything about him. So every week we're holding a contest to see who can do the best photoshops or shoops of David Miscavige. And if you can send them in a landscape format, a picture, a photoshopped picture. And so the people that sent those in the last week, we're going to show yours near the end of this video. And if you don't see yours, you might want to ask yourself if it was portrait, or if it was a video that had copyrighted music on it, or if it was any other things than what I just explained, then you might not see it. Very picky. Just trying to make it easy for it all to work.
And let me add a comment for those watching from OSA. If you don't like these Davey Shoops, we don't like having hate videos up on us either.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not with our family hating on us. So give us our families back and we'll stop. Easy peasy.
There you go. Claire makes a good point. We're not doing this for our health.
We are certainly not.
Yeah. So, and then we were going to do Mike Rinder bobble pics, but we didn't get sent enough. So if you've got bobble pics, also not that many, anybody can Photoshop a picture of David Miscavige. In order to take a really good Mike Rinder bobble pic, you got to have a bobble. So if you don't have a bobble, you can go to the SP shop and all the proceeds from there support the Aftermath Foundation.
And hey, Jacob Harvey knocked it out of the park last week, and he got his SP bracelet shipped to him this weekend. So
that's true. We did say, so there is a Photoshop contest for the Mike Rinder bobble pics, but I did say, and I'll say it again, if you take a bobblehead, a Mike Rinder bobblehead, and you go into a Scientology organization and do a photo shoot with it, you just automatically win the bracelet. That's the end of it. Otherwise, if you just send in pictures, of just funny bobblehead pics. Those we'll post, and whoever likes that one the best, we'll send you an SP bracelet. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Top 10 Tuesdays, Claire. Okay, yeah. So we're all good. So this is Claire Headley, everyone.
Hello, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
So why don't you tell us how you ended up, how you got into Scientology when you were little?
Okay, so I was born in England, and while my mom was pregnant with me, she read Dianetics, thus my name, which though I am not super proud of it, it's a quote grade chart name, unquote, meaning that I was named after the state of Clear.
I didn't know that.
For Claire.
I didn't know that.
Claire is French for Claire. Yeah.
That's
Super
really
annoying.
what your mom named you after?
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
So yeah, it all started there. So if you're born in a cult, they don't really have protocol for when you're, in the hospital, like where you can fill out a survey as a newborn baby. Like, are your parents in a cult? Do you need help being relocated? Yes. So yeah, I was born into a cult. Both my parents were staff at Manchester Org in England at the time that I was born. My father quickly decided he wanted nothing to do with Scientology anymore. Good on him. I don't resent that. I just resent being left behind, and that I've never known him since. And my mother joined the Sea organization when I was 4 years old. So that was how it all began.
And that was in East Grinstead?
No. So I was born in Manchester.
Okay.
And then when I was 4, when my mom joined the Sea organization, yes, then we moved to St. Hill, which is close to East Grinstead. And so my mom was a single mom by that point. She divorced my dad. And again, I never knew him after that. And so at the age of 4, I was handed over to full-time care by 1 or 2 Sea Org members to about 60 kids, varying in age from 6 weeks old to 10 years old. I was 4, so I was considered a self-sustaining child at that point.
So you basically, the babies were the ones that got attention. And as soon as you were able to dress yourself or feed yourself or, go to the bathroom by yourself, you're on your own.
Yes,
were you guys at the Nordlands? Is that where you were when you were?
No, this was at Stonelands.
Stonelands.
In
Sorry.
Europe.
Yeah. Stonelands.
Stonelands, yes. And ironically, I never even had a picture of me in the Cadet Org until we did our lawsuit. And then Mark Marmoro, who was the attorney who was doing my deposition, handed me a picture of me in uniform at the age of 6.
Was that the group picture, or was it just you?
Yes. No, it was that group picture that's now on the internet. That's where that came from, is from our depositions.
Wow. Because that has Eve Laws in it, and Chris, and it has a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. And in the background, if you look real closely, it has a naked kid just with a diaper on running. If you zoom in, you can see.
In the back of that picture?
Yes.
Because all the kids, because that's the other thing, because didn't the older cadets, weren't they the ones that took care of the babies? So like if you were 12 or 13, then you were the one that watched the little babies.
Yes, that's right. Because there were no parents. The parents worked from 8 a.m. and got home at midnight.
So did you live at the Stonelands?
Yes.
Okay. So you never, when you were in the Cadet Org, you were just there all day and all night.
Yes.
And then,
and if I was lucky, my mom would get 2 or 3 hours off every Saturday or Sunday morning.
Okay, so hold on. So when would your mom leave you? So you and your mom slept in the same room, though? No,
we didn't.
You didn't even have a room with your mom?
No, I lived in a dorm with all the girls.
From when you were 4?
Yes.
And you just slept in a girl's dorm?
Yes.
And how many girls?
there was anywhere from 20 to 30 girls in the dorm.
So there was
and then
just
it
bunk
a separate
beds?
Boys dorm. Yes, exactly. It was bunk beds, and that's why from as young as I can remember, I always had nightmares, and that's why when our kids say they want to sleep with the light on,
Oh my
I'm like,
goodness!
just let them,
What a sucker! She's a sucker for.
I to do.
I want to sleep with you. I want to sleep with the light on. I want to sleep with the TV on.
You want to sleep on the floor? Go right ahead.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did. So your mom, did your mom come and see you before she left to go to post?
No, because she would leave. So she would leave. I don't even remember what time she would leave, but we would get bused to school. Like all the kids in the Cadet Org would go to the local elementary school.
That one that we went to, the one that we drove to when we went to.
Yes, the one in West. It was West Hoathly.
Okay. Preparatory or
primary school.
Primary school.
It's called primary school in England. Yeah, and so that was insane because, first of all, the cadets, their parents couldn't afford to put them in Scientology school. All the Scientologists, the public Scientologists, their kids went to Greenfields, which was the English equivalent of Delphi.
Yeah, but you have to pay for that.
Yes, the Sea Org kids, they couldn't afford that. So we would get bused to our primary school, like 30 kids. And so, you know how kids can be assholes.
Well,
excuse my language,
in Hollywood, if you were one of the Sea Org kids that went to the local public school, you were usually dirty and you usually smelled like pee. And all of the kids that were non-Scientologists, because you're just at a public school, it's just everybody, but everybody at the school knew who the Scientology kids were. And they would make fun of those kids, and they would call them Cylons, and
the English version of that was Sinos.
Sinos, okay.
Sinos. We would get called Sinos, and I would ask my mom, why do we get called names? And she said, oh, it's just because there are squirrels that live in East Grinstead that are saying bad things about Scientology.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Scientologists, they basically call anyone who believes in Scientology but doesn't basically follow the rules of the organization, they call those people squirrels. That's actually what L. Ron Hubbard called them, is squirrels. And they do that to this day. They call them squirrels. Okay, so you would get dropped off at the school, and then
the same was true for all the Cadet Org kids. Where there'd be the Cadet Org children were famous for being dirty, for having lice, for falling asleep in class, and because
a lot of those kids are working after they're done with school. They have to be in the Sea Org.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so that's why I was trying to.
Already messengers. Like Commodore messengers. So they already worked, like the second they got off school, they would work in the Sea Org until midnight.
Starting at what age would you do that? In England?
7 or 8 years old.
So starting at 7 or 8, if you were in the Cadet Org, which is if you're the child of a Sea Org member, you're automatically what's called the Cadet Organization. And all of the kids have posts, and all the kids have jobs and duties, and they have ranks and ratings in some places. So if you're 7 or 8, that's when you're allowed to go and work. So what time did you get out of the public school?
Around 3:30, I think.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then, so we would get bused back to Stonelands, and there was one adult that would supervise all of us that had gotten out of school. So again, it was 30 or, and it varied, but it was anywhere from 20 to 30 kids.
And that's in addition to the babies? Because where are all the babies? Did they have a nursery at that Cadet Org?
They did. The baby, so 0 to 5 was in the nursery.
Okay.
And 5 upwards was the cadet organization. And essentially the cadet organization, the whole idea was that you're being groomed to become a Sea Org member.
Yes.
So like they had us sign our first billion-year contract when we were 7.
Wow. So they had all the cadets basically sign them together. Did they have like a signing ceremony? They had that in LA where they get like 10 kids at a table and they'd take pictures of all 10 of them kind of signing at the same time kind of thing.
Yeah, and the rumors were kind of already circulating like, oh, we're all having to sign contracts. And I was like, well, I don't know, man, this life really sucks. So I'm not planning on joining the Sea organization. And my best friend was like, you can't say that. You have to just sign, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. And
right. You don't have to join right then, but but it's just a symbolic thing that
contract.
Like basically they're either going to keep you and train you to be a Sea Org member, or they're going to send you off to another parent right now. Yeah. Like whatever parent's not in Scientology, or even a family member that's not in Scientology, they're going to send you away now so they don't waste any time on you. Yes. When you're a little kid. So they want to know that, they're basically scoping these kids out like, hey, this is what you're going to end up doing forever. And if you don't want to do that, they're going to kick it. Okay. So
and as much as I wanted to get out of there, I didn't want to lose my mom. And it was not some unknown mystery like, ooh, well, I'm just going to rebel. I wish I would have rebelled. There were other kids who did rebel, but I was not one of them.
But you never knew your dad. So all you had was your mom. That was
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to skip over it. I want to keep the story going. But, so in the nursery, I just want to understand this nursery, because in PAC, in the Los Angeles area, the Pacific Area Command, they had a cadet organization and they had a nursery, but it was usually one of the older kids or maybe one adult that's post was like the nanny or the headmistress or whatever they called them. There were different names for different places, but she would sometimes have like 15 or 20 babies to take care of. Was how many babies were in the nursery when you were there?
Yeah. So, and again, when I first got there at age 4, I was in the nursery, but I was like basically aging out and ready to graduate. But so one of my earliest memories arriving there was Winston Meller.
I know Winston.
No, hold
Miles.
On, I take it back. Yeah, no. So Russell Meller was Winston's older brother. Okay. He's the same age as me.
Okay.
Winston's now married to my cousin.
Yep.
Russell Meller was pinching me nonstop to the point that I was crying and crying and crying. And I went to the adult who happened to be his mother.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're pulling it in. You better go figure it out."
Oh my!
This was my first, earliest memory at 4 years old. I'm like, I am so screwed.
Yikes!
And that's the last time I ever complained.
Ugh, that's horrible. Okay, so how many babies were in the nursery?
It depended, but anywhere, probably at least 20 on average of 20 babies. And so when someone had their baby, at that time, this was in the mid 80s, the mom would be granted a 6-week leave of absence from her post as a Sea Org member. So whether she was allowed to take that or not, that's kind of what was agreed upon and was the general practice. But when the moment that baby turned 6 weeks old, it was in the nursery from 8 a.m. until midnight.
Wow. And then so when the mom got off post at midnight, she could pick the baby up and then take the baby from midnight until, 7 a.m. or whenever everybody got on the bus to go to post.
Yes. And for a little bit there was family time. So at dinner time, the parents would sometimes be allowed to go visit their kids at Stonelands for 1 hour.
How long was the drive from St. Hill to Stonelands?
Solid question. It was at least roughly 30-minute drive.
So you get an hour, but there's an hour travel time, so you don't get the hour. Basically, that's the That's the way it that's the way it was in Los Angeles. They had these organizations all over the place. And if your kid was at the Cadet Org and you worked at one of these other buildings, it would take more than an hour to get there and back. So the hour that you had, it would be a total waste, because by the time you got there, it'd be the time to come back. So eventually in Los Angeles, they just canceled this thing that was called family time. Basically, they said L. Ron Hubbard never mentioned the word family time anywhere. So that policy of having an hour each day to mess with your kids, that's canceled because it was never mentioned by L. Ron Hubbard. And that, I want to say that was in the 80s when family time was canceled.
Yeah, that's right. It was mid to late 80s that it was canceled. At least in England, it was probably varying. But
okay.
I always think it's funny to me in retrospect in our, what we've been married now almost 31 years. Yep. And it's funny to me that you never knew that I was in the Cadet Org until after we left.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's all kinds of things I find out about Claire. Be like, wait, what?
What?
Also, when I was a kid, I was a Scientology kid, but there was lots of Cadet Org and Sea Org kids around, and they were always dirty and they always smelled like pee. So I always thought, oh, please, I don't ever want to be in the Sea Org because they all smell like pee. And then later on when I found out, it's not because they're peeing on themselves. It's that they have one outfit. And if it got a little pee on it one day, then it might smell that way for a few weeks until it got washed or, whatever.
Yeah. And so all of those surrounding characteristics were completely true of UK Cadet Org.
It was the same.
Kids. Yeah. And that's why I was just like, I'll just kind of try and wash it from my past. Like it never happened.
So when do you leave the Cadet Org? How does that end?
Yep. So age 4 to age 10 is when I was in the Cadet Org. And essentially a few different things happened. I'll keep it simple, but my mom got special approval to marry somebody who was not a Sea Org member. He had taken LSD, which is a disqualification to join the Sea organization, but he was also on a high position at St. Hill, overseeing the OT levels for public. And so she got special approval from Guillaume Leserve, ED International, to marry him. So he became my stepdad.
Your mom had to get approval from ED to get married to your dad? Yes. The executive director international of all of Scientology. She had to write a CSW. Oh, because she was in the Sea Org.
Yes.
Okay. So how old were you when that happened?
I was 10.
Okay, so you basically been in the Sea Org for 6 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And a few significant road bumps that we should talk about before we move on. So maybe we'll have to do chapter 2.
Oh my goodness.
But these are important to know because to me they're like
chapter 2.
Well, they're my what the heck moments.
Okay.
First of all, when I was 7, my mom was dating another Sea Org member.
Not Hugh.
No, not Hugh.
Okay.
His name was Ken. I don't remember his last name, but
it
was this really weird thing from when I was 6 years old. My mom would be like, well, I think I'm in love. And I'd be like, oh, great.
How old was your mom when you were 7? Because your mom had you pretty young, right?
She did. So she was 25.
When you were 7, she was 25?
She got pregnant with me when she was 17.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she was 18 when she had me.
Wow. Okay, so you were 7 and your mom was 25?
Yeah. Yeah, 25, 26. Yep.
Wow. And this is when she fell in love with another Sea Org member?
I think I'm in love. And I'd be like, great. Who is this guy? Great. Is this going to be my dad? Okay. Anyway, here's the punchline. She went out to be with this guy.
With Ken?
Yes.
Okay, so for those
So
who
that
don't
means for
know,
everybody else,
yeah.
she had sex with him out of wedlock.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so she was assigned to the Rehabilitation Project Force, which
Okay.
meant that I was no longer allowed to talk to her. Because if you're on the RPF,
You're not, yeah, Sea Org members aren't allowed to
rights,
talk to other Sea Org members that are on the
your
RPF.
communication rights are struck. So you cannot originate communication to anyone outside of the RPF, even if it's your own child. So that happened, and she was gone. She was living somewhere else. I didn't even know where she was living.
You don't know where the RPFers lived?
No, I don't. I think they were living at a different property.
Did they have the stables then?
Yeah, but the stables was only for like executives, because that was on the St. Hill property. There was another property called Burke House.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the RPFers lived, but I didn't know, is the bottom line. And you couldn't
have gone and stayed with her or slept at her room or whatever. No. Even if you knew, you just had no way to get there.
I couldn't write her a letter. I had no idea where she was physically, nothing. And so I was essentially assigned to another family, which was the Gallup family, Peter Gallup, and they had a bunch of kids. Lindy Gallup, it was his daughter. She was the head of the Cadet Org as a teenager for a long time. And she lives in Australia now.
So they were like your foster Sea Org parents?
Yes.
Even though, what did that mean? Like you saw them once a week for 5 minutes, or they just said, how you doing?
Yeah. They just
they're not going to do anything. They're Sea Org members.
I still lived in a dorm. I still ate with the Cadet Org,
So it was pretty much business as usual for you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And then didn't your mom have an accident when she was on the RPF?
Yes. So she was working to build the new St. Hill castle at St. Hill.
The castle that they have now that's in all the photographs. Your mom built that castle.
Yes.
Okay.
And she was chaining bricks, and she got hit in the head with a brick.
She got hit in the head with the brick. It's like somebody was passing one down to her and she didn't catch it, and conkety conk.
Yeah, she's never had the best coordination. It's probably where I get my poor coordination from.
Your lack of motor control. Okay, so somebody dumped a brick on your ma.
Yeah,
but she's on the RPF.
Yeah, but she was knocked unconscious. She was rushed to the hospital. And somehow, so then she was in the hospital for a day or two, and they decided it would be a great idea to teach me, 7-year-old Claire, how to do touch assists on my mom to nurse her back to health. And I was like, hey, I'm great. If I get to see my mom, I haven't seen her in, 2-3 months, and I get to hang out with her, sure, I'm down.
But because they wanted you to give her assists every day.
Yes.
So, but that was kind of like, you got to work, but you'll be able to see her.
Yes.
But did she have stitches? Did she just have a big bump?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, but she was knocked unconscious.
Bedridden. Yeah, she was in bed for a few days, even after she came home from the hospital.
Yeah.
And so I had to give her touch assists.
Oh my goodness.
Every few hours. And
can you imagine getting bricked out? To me, that's insane.
I know. It's pretty scary.
Oh my goodness. Knocked out with a brick.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did that take for her to for you to nurse her back to health? Because she's going to, just for everyone out there, when Sea Org members get sick or injured, usually they try to milk that, because you're sleeping and you're getting fed and you're not having to work all day and all night. So it's sort of like very rejuvenating when you're sick, if you get to sleep for 4 or 5 days or whatever. So how long did it take?
It was about 2 or 3 days. And in her case, somehow, I don't even know the backstory, but there was the added benefit that this incident resulted in her being reprieved from the RPF. Reprieved meaning her assignment to the RPF was canceled and she got off. she got to go back to work.
How long was she on the RPF until she was reprieved?
About 2 or 3 months.
Oh, so at this time you're still 7 or 8?
Yeah.
When you're nursing your mom back to health, yes. You're okay, so hold on. I never knew this timeline. She was literally on the RPF for a couple of months, and then she got hit in the head with a brick, and then they said, oh, maybe she shouldn't be on the RPF.
Yeah.
What happened to Ken?
I don't even know, honestly. I never really knew him.
Okay.
That
so,
well.
but he didn't, it wasn't like you ran into
RPF. The RPF assignment put the kibosh on the whole relationship, and it never.
Okay, so they shut it down after they found out. They were like, "That's it. You guys are. That's it. Yeah. It's done."
Yep.
Okay.
So then she starts dating Hugh, my stepdad, currently.
Okay, so she goes out 2D with another Sea Org member. Your mom's not the brightest bulb in the shed here.
It gets way better.
So your mom goes out 2D with another Sea Org member. So she tries to double down with someone who's not even in the Sea Org.
Yeah.
He was a public at St. Hill?
Well, no, he was staff, but he was not Sea Org. So he was on a 5-year staff contract, but he was, like I said, he claimed to have taken LSD, so therefore he was never going to be a Sea Org member.
Yeah.
That's why, but either way, so she started dating him. And the first night she went out on a date with him, she never came home.
What?
And so here's what happened.
Oh,
so
they hooked up. No, they hooked up.
It gets so better.
Your mom's the original out 2D.
I woke up in the dorm, and I would always go upstairs to where my mom's bed was. So I went upstairs to my mom's bed.
Oh, because at this time,
Sunday morning, yeah.
Well, but we skipped over something. So when she got out of the RPF, wherever she lived was near where you live now?
Yes, she moved back to Stonelands.
Okay, so when you were in the dorm, she just lived in another floor of the same building. So you could go to her room before she went to post.
Yes.
Okay, good. So keep going. I just want to make sure, because a lot of people don't know how this all works out. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I know. So she goes on a date on a Saturday night with Hugh.
Yeah.
She's a Sea Org member. He's a staff member.
Okay.
Yeah, I go to bed as normal in my dorm room. I wake up in the morning. I always go up to stairs to see my mom. She's not there. The bed is perfectly made. Mm-hmm. She did not sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
I start panicking. Again, I'm still around 7 or 8 years old.
You thought she blew.
No, I didn't. I didn't even think of the implications. I was just like, where's my mom?
Yeah.
So I ran down to the kitchen where all the staff were. And I went to one of her friends, and I'm like, I can't find, my mom's not here. I don't know where my mom is. And I'm like, crocodile tears starting to well up in my eyes.
And you're 7 at this point, or 8.
Yeah, I might have been 8 by now.
Okay. Crybaby. 8-year-old crybaby Claire. Okay, so then what happens?
He's like, so her friend said something like, well, did you check somewhere? Did you check the shower or somewhere like that?
Yeah.
And in my head, even at 7, I'm like, the bed clearly hasn't been slept in. Why would I check the damn shower? But either way, I was like, okay, I'll go back upstairs. Go back up.
But you're like basically outing your mom right now.
Yes. And then I go back upstairs, and there's my mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Mom, I thought you were gone. I couldn't find you. And her instant reaction was, where were you? Who did you talk to?
Yeah.
She was so pissed with me.
Well, because basically
you better go tell them right now that I was in the shower.
Yeah,
go tell them right now. Yes.
Because otherwise they're all going to know that she went out 2D because she never came home.
Straight back to the RPF. To me, I honestly didn't even think about it. I didn't understand the implications at all.
Your mom's like 23. She's like,
the craziest
you're gonna get me ratted out, kid.
Yeah. 25 years later, she apologized to me for lying.
No.
Yes.
Okay. So hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
We're never even gonna. What time is it? It's already 6:30, and we haven't even. You were supposed to get by this time. You were supposed to get to the imp. No.
Yeah. No.
So.
There's
okay.
2 other stories from the Cadet Org.
Oh my goodness.
Big ones.
Well, why don't we just tell those? We could tell those on another Tuesday.
Yeah.
But so how old were you when you got to the base?
I was 16. So, we'll cut out all the middle stuff, but my family moved to the U.S. when I was 13. My mom was no longer in the Sea organization.
But did she get out before you guys moved?
Yes, she was out of the Sea organization before we moved to the U.S.
How old was she how old were you when you got out, basically?
I was 10 when we left the Sea organization.
Okay, and then you lived in England for 3 years.
Me stay.
Yeah, yep. They wanted you to stay in the Sea Org even though your mom was leaving.
Yes, by myself.
They're like, hey, just because your mom's leaving doesn't mean you need to leave.
Yeah,
and you were 10. And you were 10.
For you to leave, yes, when I was 10.
Oh my God. 10. Yeah. Hey, your mom's going to leave. She's never been she's never really been that much of a rock star anyway. She was on the RPF. She got hit in the head with a brick. She married this fuddy-duddy guy who's not in the Sea Org.
She blew and left you behind.
She blew and left you there. Okay. So basically you get out of the Sea Org when you're 10. Your mom gets out of the Sea Org. You guys live in England for a few years, and then you they make the decision, we're going to move to the United States when you're 13. Yes. Okay, so then from 13, how did you get from 13 to the Int Base?
So I was being hounded nonstop from 13 to 16. They were trying to get me back into the Sea organization because I'd already signed a billion-year contract at 7. So they're like, come on, you got to start your contract now. It's time.
Oh, so they're like calling in, like, hey, you signed a contract. It's time for you to show up.
Yeah. I signed another one when I was 13, and then they were trying to get me to go to Flag. And then when I changed my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to miss my sister. And she's so little. She's not going to remember me, and I can't do this. So then I was assigned treason.
Well, hold on. How old was your sister at this point?
My oldest sister was 3.
And then you had a brother.
Yep. And my brother was 1, and my youngest sister was just a few months old. And I was looking after them more than my mom was.
For that 3 years you were there, you were babysitting your siblings basically full time.
Yes. Yeah. And so after we moved to the US, I never went back to school because I was full-time babysitting my siblings.
I just have to show this comment real quick. Okay. It's from Jeff. It says Claire's in for $2 billion here because you signed 2 contracts. That's a good one, Jeff.
God.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Oh my goodness. I just see Aaron's in here somewhere too, causing trouble. Okay, let's we're gonna at least get you to the Int Base and to tell a funny Int Base story, and then we'll start answering questions. So if you guys want to get some questions in, put them in now, because when we start answering them, that's going to be the cutoff time for new questions. Okay, so who was trying to get you into the Sea Org? Like, I know that I'll just say, because now you're in Los Angeles, so that's my town. Okay.
Yes.
So,
which is so funny because we almost met.
Yes. Because I went
in January 1989 because I was going to go to Delphi, LA.
Yes, and I went to Delphi, LA.
Yeah.
But Claire went there right around or right before.
No, I was going to start on January 3rd, 1989.
Okay, so I was still going there at that time, and I was just about to get recruited for the Sea organization when Claire was about to also go there.
But I couldn't go because I had to petition because it, according to Delphi, would take too long to teach me study tech, even though I had already finished the student hat.
Yeah,
which was... Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so when I was around before that in Los Angeles in PAC, which is like anywhere near Celebrity Center or the Complex or any of the organizations, the Sea Org members, the Sea Org recruiters, that worked at any of those places, if there were any Scientology kids, like children of Scientologists or children of ex-Sea Org members or children that were any way involved in Scientology, the recruiters knew about them and they hounded them to join the Sea Org. So how long, because you were there for 3 years in LA, how long do you remember the Sea Org members kind of like vulturing and coming after you?
From the whole time I was in LA, from age
13 to 16.
until 16.
They were always like
the whole time. And at one point I asked my mom and dad, I said, can you please help me? I cannot get them off my back. And my stepdad said, well, you've done the professional TRs course, which is the highest level of communication course in Scientology. So he said, so therefore you should be able to handle any communication situation, no matter how hard, which to me was like, fuck you, you're on your own.
My mom used to do that. She would answer like real world questions with Scientology nonsense. She'd be like, let's get out the green book. And I'd be like, oh, we're going to throw down. She's getting out that green book. She's getting out that Hubbard stuff. Okay, so finally, one of those Sea Org members, they get you. Who
and I was cornered. Okay, so Linda Rule and Tammy Lundeen.
Tammy Lundeen recruited you?
Yeah, but here's the punchline. Okay, my stepdad was really good friends with Richard Reese. May he rest in peace.
He was basically he was over Scientology counseling in Florida, and he was the head person over counseling in Florida, which was a really, really big deal if you're in the technical world of Scientology. Okay, so he knew Richard
Reese called my stepdad and said, if Claire doesn't start on her EPF by tomorrow, I am getting a committee of evidence.
Richard Reese is?
Yeah.
Why
because he was running the mission. These two staff members, Linda Rule and Tammy Lundeen, were on mission that Richard was running to
get recruits
to become superpower auditors at Flag.
So hold on a second. So basically a Sea Org member called your dad because your dad couldn't be a Sea Org member.
No, but Richard and him worked very closely together when Richard was at St. Hill.
Yeah, but so he basically leaned on your stepdad to say, hey, your kid needs to join, otherwise I'm going to get in big trouble.
Yes.
And so these recruiters had already been working on you. Yes. And so then Hugh leaned on you and said, hey.
Yes.
So what did he say?
He said, Richard's going to get commented. You've been leading them on, saying like you're going to join. And so I had the rug pulled out from under me. All of a sudden I had no.
So basically if you don't join, you're a scumbag at home.
Yeah.
And if you do join, then Hugh's friend won't get in trouble. And you're 16 at this point.
Yes.
And then they say, and your mom's just like, fine?
No, she was crying, which she denies now, but she
was crying because she didn't want you to go because she already did it and failed miserably. And she knows the only way this is going to end is you're going to end up out of Scientology, basically.
That's right.
Because that's how all Sea Org members basically either leave the Sea Org or they leave Scientology altogether. And probably the ones that leave, it's more often they leave completely, not just they leave the Sea Org and become a Scientologist again. They leave and they leave in a bad, bad way.
That's right. In fact, a couple of months after I had joined, a couple of months after this happened with Richard and I ended up giving in.
Yeah.
Then I was getting recruited to go to the Int Base, and mom.
So you're already in the Sea Org.
Yeah. Now I'm in the Sea Org.
Okay. So let's explain. So even though you're in the Sea Org, if you're at a lower level organization, so this is another crazy thing. I never even thought to tell people about this. So if you're a public Scientologist, then you get recruited to be in the Sea organization. And then once you're in the Sea organization, you get poached or recruited to be in higher organizations until eventually Okay, so you were what was it called? The TTC or the
Yes, I was. Yep.
Corps. What was it? Universe Corps?
Technical Training Corps. No, I was on the Technical Training Corps.
Okay.
Training full time to become a superpower auditor, and from there, I was then poached to go to be recruited to go to Golden Era Productions to be in their training division.
Okay.
But in order to qualify to go to Golden Era Productions, my mother had to sign over guardianship of me.
Wow.
To which she refused because she said, no, because I have a friend whose daughter worked there and the daughter was declared and she can't talk to her daughter anymore. So it's not okay with me. Ironically, right? Look at us now. You were right, Mom.
Yeah, your mom. Well, I'm telling you, she knew what was going to happen.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do get, well, your mom doesn't let you do it, but then this other woman becomes your guardian.
Eventually I wore my mom down.
Oh, so she did a sign over.
Did agree, and she signed over guardianship of me to Leonore Adam, who my mom had never met, but my stepdad knew Leonora from England.
Leonore, by the way, was like a 65-year-old woman. She was like your sweet grandma of a woman from England, and she had a real fun.
Before I ever even met her.
She what?
She became my legal guardian before I even met her.
Yeah, so your mom basically just signed her away to a random Sea Org member she'd never met, you'd never met, and she was an acquaintance at best of your dad years ago in another country.
Yep.
And they signed you away to that person to be your legal guardian and to make decisions for you as a person, to let you do what you're going to do.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So how old? You're 16 at this point.
16. So I arrived at the headquarters where I met you in September 1991.
Okay. Yes. September 1991. At the age of 16.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And then, when you first get there, you're in Golden Era Productions, and you were in the training division, or what they call it, Golden Era, they call it the qualifications division, because you're doing counseling or overseeing the courses that the staff, the Sea Org members at the international headquarters are studying and doing. Like, so if I'm doing a Scientology course, I would go up to that building, and your job was
to essentially oversee and make sure that staff were making it through their check sheets,
but you were called a course
steps. Yeah, I was a course supervisor was my title. And I was also already by that point a trained auditor in Scientology. So I had started auditing people when I was 14.
Counseling. Scientology counseling.
Yep. First time I did a sec check on somebody I was 14. A sec check is
an
interrogation. Yep. Where
you were 14 when you did your first sec check.
Yes, I was. And actually, funnily enough, that was at Celebrity Center at the same time as Danny Masterson was there doing a Key to Life course.
Nice. Did you know there's somebody else that you were on course with? I don't even know if you know
Jamie.
Well, no, I know Scientology young people that you were on course with, but you completed your course the same time the guy from Greece. His name was, I think it was Eddie Dezine. He was a really kind of goofy looking guy.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. Well, he was in the movie Grease.
Yes, I remember him in the movie.
Yeah, but you were on course with him at CC.
Oh,
he finished level 2 the same time you finished level 1.
Really?
Yes, he was in the same course room with you.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Tommy Davis tried to recruit me for the Sea Org too, by the way.
When he was at CC?
Yeah, because when he first got into Scientology, he was getting counseling at the Beverly Hills Mission.
From your dad.
Where my stepdad ran that. Yeah, and he got auditing from my dad.
That's when you found out that he was smoking pot and doing kid stuff.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, he got really mad when I said that he.
Of course he did.
I was like, "Oh, you did pot after you were in." He was like, "I never." And I'm like, "I know secrets about you. You be quiet." Okay. Okay, so so you were in Golden Era Productions until like 1994? When did you
from 91 until 96. And in March 1996
Oh yeah, that's right.
is when I was promoted to Religious Technology Center, RTC.
You did get promoted to a different job in Golden Era.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of. But then after that, you then in 96 you became a religious technology trainee.
Yes. I was training to become the RTC rep for CCInt.
So you were going to be, Religious Technology Center, so everybody understands, is David Miscavige's personal organization that is kind of the police of Scientology. That's really at the end, that's what the RTC policies say, that you're the police. You're the internal internal affairs. That's what it is.
General network of Scientology.
See, the RTC is the internal affairs of Scientology. So they're the ones that investigate and lock up other Sea Org members. That's their job.
In fact, so much so that's why I resent that internal affairs movie so deeply, is because we had to watch it like 10 times as to model.
Such a fan of Richard Gere, Claire. Oh my good. Richard Gere is the perfect RTC staff member in that movie.
The other movie we had to watch like 10 times to model after is No Way Out.
Okay, No Way Out.
With Kevin Costner, I think.
Oh, because he's like a double agent.
He's a spy.
Yeah.
He's like a deep undercover spy.
Okay, so you're into RTC. You get into RTC in 1996. Yes. And you're a trainee.
And the very next day, I was sent to Clearwater, Florida. And I was there in Clearwater from March of 1996 until January of 1997.
Okay, and then you came back.
Yeah, I did the mission to put the RTC reps on post in LA first.
Okay.
So I put Ann Rathbun, Marty's ex-wife, Jesse
Melanie.
Reese, Melanie Peeler, now Melanie Schwant, and Erica Williams on post as RTC PAC. And then you got in trouble at the New Year's event.
No, this is good. I pulled a fast one. I did a good job. At the New Year's event, I don't remember what happened, but something happened in relation to the event or the stage that wasn't good. And I got pulled in basically and investigated. And what came up was I hadn't seen my wife in 2 years. And I was like, hey, this is a bunch of bull. You guys, RTC was the one investigating me. RTC was investigating me, and I was like, yeah, funny how you guys are ones doing the investigation because you're the people I got a problem with. And they were like, what? And I said, this is some bullshit. You guys stole Claire, and I ain't seen her in 2 years because before she went to RTC, I had been gone for a year or two on my own. I'd been in Los Angeles and I'd been in Florida and I'd been all over the place and in Denmark for 6 months. And then Claire ended up in RTC and then she went to Florida for a year or two. And then she was in Los Angeles for a year. So I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit. And I actually ended up talking with Shelly specifically. Yep. Shelly came to see me and it was actually before the New Year's event when this happened. Because at the New Year's event, Claire was there at the event. And Shelly was like, come with me to the audience. And so I went out in the audience and I was sitting with her. And then she goes, how's it going? I said, oh, it's going better. And she goes, you sorted everything out you needed to sort out? And I said, well, yeah, Claire's here now. And she goes, yeah, Claire's coming to the base as well. She's going to get posted at the base. And I said, oh, really? That's funny how that worked out. And she said, well, yeah, you made that work out that way. And I said, okay, perfect. Good. And she said, you have to do your job now, though. And I was like, yeah, probably be easier. And so then Claire ended up getting posted back at the Int Base and not in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and what Shelly told me is that you owed her one. So guess what, Shelly?
Yes. Oh, yeah. She did say
at the for you when you're free, we're even.
Yeah. So she did say this when we had that whole conversation. She said, "Okay, so you owe me one." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fair." So yeah, Shelly, you have a place to stay when you leave. Okay, how about that?
When we know you're free and happy, we'll stop doing Dave Shoops.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, so then basically you were in RTC until 2004, 1996.
So March 96 until September 2004. And September 2004 is when I was kicked out of RTC and put in the hole.
Okay. That's right. Because you wouldn't divorce me.
That's right.
So kind of ironic that they posted you at the base because of me. Mm-hmm. So that you would be near me, and then they eventually kicked you out of RTC 8 years later because you wouldn't divorce me.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do chapter 2 about the time in RTC.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But and that's good enough too. We don't even have to do anything like the Shelly thing or whatever. It's been a full hour. So I think if you're cool, we can stop there. We can kind of go back a little to the LA because there's a bunch of fun things that happen in LA before you join the Sea Org. And then we can go to some of the craziest in gold when you were in the Sea Org, because that was when you guys were getting thrown in the lake all the time. And you guys weren't allowed to eat with anybody, and you had to eat by the dumpsters, and there's all kinds of fun stories.
And when I had to get my TRs passed by David Miscavige himself.
Yes. So we will absolutely do a bunch more of those. And I'm going to star. While Claire's been talking, I've been starring tons of questions. So we'll answer those. And I've been letting there's some gal in here or guy who just hates if I make you stop talking for any reason, even if it's to explain something or to tell a little bit more about it. But she's commented, or he, the person, they, them, it, they, whatever, the person has commented, I want to say 40 times about me. Every time you're on, she makes at least 10 comments. I haven't seen it yet, but I bet she's in here somewhere. It's all good.
I forgive you, honey. It's all good. To be fair, you are a better storyteller than me, so I appreciate your help.
It's all good. Sometimes when we do these Scientology videos, we say Scientology things like as if everybody knows it, and we have to kind of explain it. So I'm going to save this one real quick before
That's pretty common.
Yeah. And so let's just say it's 6:58. No questions past 7. If they're past 7, we're not answering them.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for listening to my story, everybody. And thanks for helping me tell it.
Yeah. We're trying, I've been trying to get Claire to write a book, but she does do a ton of work that would not get done if she was off writing a book somewhere. So I'm kind of conflicted.
I will eventually. Next time you go out of town, I'll write my book. How about that?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because usually once I get to go out of town for a job, all the work that you would need to do is already done anyway. So it's like kind of vacation time.
That's my plan, folks. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, Juliana Bittencourt. We're starting. We're answering questions. No questions past 7. That's the cutoff. Juliana. Thank you, Juliana.
Yes, thank you.
She said, finished Marc's book today. What a ride. Oh, awesome. Good.
Nice.
I'm glad you got it. If anybody wants to get my book, go to blownforgood.com. We got signed copies there. Carrie Isaac, Casey Isaac says.
Cassie Isaac.
Cassie. Hello to all the OSA people watching. Yes, OSA. Thank you. Everybody giving a shout out to OSA.
Go to the aftermathfoundation.org and you too can be free.
Yeah, OSA is the spy wing of the Church of Scientology. And they're in here watching these videos right now, recording them even. And they do transcribe them.
Don't forget
Catherine
to hit the like
S.
button, OSA.
Hit the like button and subscribe, OSA. As long as you guys get the free show, you should like and subscribe, just like everybody else does. Yep. Catherine S. says, you're both great. Thank you, Catherine. We appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah, we're not doing this for our health, folks. little super chats don't hurt. Semper 949. Thank you, Semper. You can put a question in there. We'll answer it if you're.
Yes, we will.
Hey, Cassandra Reiners. 2 questions. Claire, what attracted you to Marc back in the day? Ooh, I like this. Good going, Cassandra.
Yes.
And then Marc, favorite song on Ultra. Okay, I'll let you answer first, Claire.
Okay, great question, Cassandra. 2 things. Number 1, his eyes and his eyelashes. Number 2, he has always been a rebel. And that was such a... it was like he just didn't care about the rules. He didn't care about any of that. And those 2 things, he had me at the get-go.
Well, I'm going to just tell my version, but
okay.
My version is, there was one of my friends was going out with Claire before I was. His name was Darius. And I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. But I saw her riding on the back of his motorcycle, and I thought, oh, I don't have a motorcycle. I'm not going to be able to compete with the motorcycle. Dang it. Anyway, but he crashed with Claire on the back. That's the best. Sorry, Claire, but after that, I was like, I might have a chance.
And sure enough, you did. Plus, the kibosh was put on that. I was not allowed to date him.
That's right. One of the guardians swooped in and said they knew about Darius. Darius had a long history of girls that he had gone out with.
Nefarious activity.
Yes. Greta Metz. Do is short.
But how tall are you both?
Do is short.
How tall are we? Oh, I think she meant DM is short.
Oh, DM is short, but how tall are both of you? I'm like 5'11", 5'10 and a half, I think. Claire's
I'm 5'7".
A little bit shorter than that, yeah. I mean, we're regular.
Both taller than Miscavige.
We're regular people height.
Our kiddo is 6'2".
I didn't answer that other lady's question. She had a second question, which was, what's the best song on Ultra? Yes. And I think the best song on Ultra, I like Home. I think that's the best. It's No Good and Home. I like Home sometimes. I like It's No Good. That's a Depeche Mode thing. And then Joshua Sanchez, right up. You all so inspiring. Marc, what is your favorite Depeche Mode album? I don't really have a favorite, but Depeche Mode 101 has a special place in my heart because I was front row center for that concert. That was a sold out concert Depeche Mode did at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena in California. And I had front row center. It was also right before I got sucked into the Sea organization. And in the movie they made about that, anytime I listen to that album, I get goosebumps.
What's the album with Precious? Is it...
that's a good album too, but I don't try to do favorites on albums because I like so much. Yeah, William Tubb said, "So we can be assured more Claire time."
Yay,
yes, sure. William.
Anytime.
We will get more Claire time.
Tell me when you get bored, and I'll stop talking.
Yeah, when I start getting thumbs downs on Claire, then we'll put it in here. Tarkina Meyer. Wow, thank you, Tarkina. Oh my God, I can't even fathom putting my children through anything like that. Thank God you both got out that nightmare. Bless you both. Yeah. Oh, yes. Every time our kids. Let me
make a comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we had kids, that's what gave me perspective on my childhood. And yes, absolutely. Over my dead body, it became almost my mission to educate people on the danger of involving children in cults because the trauma and damage is irreversible.
Yeah, there's a lot of times when the kids we have 3 boys, when they're at certain ages, when our oldest son, who's now 16, when he turned 16, we were just saying like, oh, this is how old we were when we got given over to Scientology for the rest of our lives. Yeah. That's like, whoa, we could have never imagined doing that to our 16-year-old. Like it's not even, I don't even know how. I could never fathom that in a million years, like letting him do that. Like I can't even imagine.
Yep. Will not happen.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. Hey, here's Jeff Hawkins. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
We're going to get Jeff on here. He's written in and asked if he can do this.
We were talking about a great story with Jeff the other night when we
my goodness. So good. We'll but we got so far, if you're an ex Int Base Sea Org member and you're watching this and you want to do it, go down in my where's my finger? There you go. Go down in the about page and send me an email, and we'll get you on here. We're gonna do Jeff Hawkins is on the list. I think Jackson, Mark Fisher. Did Jackson say? I can't remember if Jackson did, but Amy, Scobie, Matt Pesh, any of those guys. If you want to come on here, we'll definitely do it. Denver Stevo, pleasure to meet you at Going Claire Headley on Scientology. Oh, that's
my new YouTube handle.
You're Going Claire?
I should make it relevant. Yeah, somebody said that the other day, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that. It's kind of catchy.
Oh, super chat.
Especially since my name is from that. Mark.
It is a woman. This is the gal. JLD is me. $2. Mark, love you, but please let Claire talk. Yes.
Thank you.
I just have to pipe in every once in a while just in case we don't get too far down the road, because if I let her keep talking, then I'll forget. I'll get into what she's saying, and I'll forget that we need to go back and say this place was this place and that, and it's all good.
Well-intended banter.
Yes. Liz Turner, have read all the books of those who've blown. Would love one from your point of view, Claire. Oh, that's nice.
Thank you, Liz.
She's already signed up. She's writing it next time I go on a job, which is supposed to be in a few months. I got 3 big jobs this year, so she's got 3 chances to get it all done.
Yep.
Okay, and we did do a podcast with a self-publishing book channel, and it's the whole story of how we did the book, and we never really told that story anywhere else. So I think once the podcast is released, I'll tell people to go and listen to the podcast, but then I recorded it, and so I'll put it up on here after it's had its run on the podcast channel. I'll put it up here, and then everybody can watch it if they want.
Awesome.
Jen Beldy, bobbleheads. No, I need a Rinder pull string plushie. Plus, pull the string. He says, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. I did cut that video up. You haven't watched it? It's pretty good. Yeah, I clipped it and put it somewhere. I don't remember where it is. I think I put it on Twitter. Okay. We've got the next one here. Fabian, when will you do a Central European time zone friendly stream? Vienna, Austria. I think we basically just have to do one like on Sunday morning or something to be able to do like a prime time. I'll have to see. We have to figure out. Mark that down, Claire. Find out when to do the Euro stream, and then it'll be like the Sunday morning special Euro stream.
Yeah, we'll think of a good name for it.
Denver Stevo, Claire, how is it that you had such a messed up upbringing and end up so well adjusted while wogs like me ended up on the crazy side like Mark?
my answer to that question, Denver Stevo, thanks for joining us, will always be unanimously that from the age of 6 or even 5, the only thing I ever wanted was a normal life. I wanted to live in a normal house. I wanted to have a normal family. So now that I have it, I have absolutely nothing to complain about. I have what I dreamed of, even despite all odds. So I embrace it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Wow, Rick Reese. Love your channel, entertaining and informative. Having Claire on is an added bonus. Well, thank you, Rick Reese. I appreciate it.
You, Rick. We appreciate you joining us.
I knew a guy when I was a kid. His name was Chaz Reese. He was a dad of this girl that I used to drive my bike to her house in Hollywood.
Well, also, we were talking about Richard Reese.
That's true. We got Richard, we got Rick, we got it. It's all coming down.
I was in the Cadet Org with Richard's kids, Jesse and Becky.
Abel S. says, start Claire's Wheel of Stories. Spin between Cadet Org, Sea Org, Int Base, post-cultist category. Spin the wheel to choose a story to share. You know, that's not a good idea. That's not a bad idea. We could make a digital, like, wheel spinner that we just spin, and then it says, like, Int Base story, David story, crazy Sea Org fight story, you know, just whatever it is.
Scientology celebrities. Scientology war stories. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you, Abel.
Amanda says, Mark was a stoner / surfer in his other lives. No, I was a stoner surfer in this life. When I was a kid, my parents didn't have money to send me to a Scientology school. So for a little while, I went to a public school, but I was the only Caucasian in the entire school. So that didn't go very well for me there. And so then I ended up stopping going to that school, and I would just go surfing every day at the beach. And because my whole family was driving to Los Angeles to work or be at school or whatever, I was basically all alone home every single day. And I would just go to the beach and hang out with the homeless people and the street performers. Yes. Okay. So, there was another one there.
By the way, honey,
yes.
Sorry, this is totally a sideswipe that you're going to hate me for, but we should remember to talk about the time that I blew the Cadet Org to go see my mom at St. Hill. That was another great story. Okay,
good. We'll put that on the list.
Put that on the list.
Jay Dice says, what was Shelly like back then? I'm going to let you do that one because you were with Shelly way more than me.
Yep, I worked with Shelly from 1994 until 2004. And I know some people had issues with Shelly and thought she was mean and vindictive. I always thought Shelly was, to me anyway, was more like a friend / kind of a supervisor. Like she wanted to see me do well. Shelly told me on many occasions that I had no idea what hell she was going through with Dave. I think she was in a really, really bad spot. I also know she was entirely dedicated to Scientology. She had been on the ship with Hubbard from when she was very, very young. I think like 11, 12, starting at that age. And she violently disagreed with Dave Miscavige physically abusing staff. I know that much too. So I don't think she was in an easy position. And I think she was miserable. And I really hope she's okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. People, I'm just looking. A bunch of people, no more super chats. No more super chats. No more super chats. We're past the super chats. Oh my goodness. You can't win with these super chats. You say don't do it, and they do it anyway. Panko, Claire, I don't know how you became such a great mom and human being. You are an inspiration. Well, that's very nice.
Thank you, Panko. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I try. When my kids, Mom, you're the best mom ever, I cry. I know about that, but I really try.
Yes. Jay Dice said, married 30 years. I get your back and forth. Too late to change. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Thanks for understanding.
Okay, so here we
are, and we embrace it. Yeah. We accept it.
R.R. Smith, have you seen the urban explorers that did a walkthrough of an abandoned org? No.
I haven't seen that.
Urban explorers did a walkthrough of an abandoned org? Oh, yes. I think that was the one. Make a note. I want to say it was the one in Manchester. I may have seen it. There's an org in Manchester. There's some org somewhere in England that used to be like a Catholic school, an all-girls school or something, and they bought it and they were going to renovate it, and it's been sitting empty. I think that might be the one he's talking about.
I saw that Aaron did a video earlier today that they closed CC Munich.
Well, they absolved it. Like the Munich org now, the people that worked at the CC probably just now work at the regular org or something like that. I'll have to see. I'll have to ask Aaron, but I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, Aaron has some super chats in here we're gonna get to, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Fabian, again, thank you, Fabian. Claire, wasn't it strange to date a non-OT who is supposed to be full of BTs but not being themselves? Yeah, what's up with that, Claire?
Yeah, well, so that's another.
How did that work?
For another day.
Okay, good. So let's ask about that. We'll do that.
For the sake of the audience, we should know that when I flew, I was operating Thetan level 5. That's where I got to, and I was also class 4 auditor. So I had you trumped, honey.
Oh yeah, no, that's why the brainwashing took longer to wear off on you.
I'm not figuring that. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, it definitely freaked me out when Mark started reading the OT levels, and he was like, "Well, if I'm dead tomorrow morning," I'm like, "Oh yeah. Great. Then what?"
Yeah. Good luck with everything. I'm going to read all of the OT levels. I actually read all from after we watched South Park, and she told me that that was really what they believe. Then I just read everything from Clear to OT8 on the internet. I read everything. And then when I wasn't sick after that, I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely nonsense. Okay, This is a good one. I think we might know this girl. I'm pretty sure we do. Okay. Catherine S. says, at Claire, did you ever know a young female RTC rep named Bach? I think Joanna. Mr. Bach to all us normals. Her mom was my first grade teacher at a Scientology school.
Wow, that's crazy. Yes, I absolutely knew.
Was it Sarah?
Joanna. Sarah. Yeah, Sarah Bach, who became Sarah Sargent.
Yes. Yeah. And she was, for a while, she was an RTC rep. She was an RTC trainee.
Yeah.
She never became a rep.
No, she never became a rep. I was running all the RTC trainees for a while. So yes, I definitely knew Sarah. That's crazy that you knew her mom.
Yes. And now
she's living in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, really?
She has kids. Yeah.
Nice.
Her and Trevor
good for them.
Out. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So good for them. Hey, you know what? Cheers to the day that they join us here. We would love to talk to them.
Her husband, Sarah's husband, Trevor, used to work for me, and he was amazing. He was one of the best people that's ever worked for me. I would hire that dude in a second, and I already know he knows how to do all the stuff I do, because that's what we were doing back at the crazy place, some of it. But we do a lot more advanced stuff these days. But awesome. Okay, Calvin, super sticker. Thank you, Cal. Appreciate it. Yeah, put a question in there next time, and we'll hit it up. Okay, Goldie, this caused a whole bunch of nonsense last time, but I figured out a very good way to do it. Okay, Goldie, who's a moderator here, the great Goldie.
The wonderful Goldie. What would we do without Goldie?
Last week, she basically just bought somebody a random bobblehead. Okay? And if you want a bobblehead, you got to go in the comments. We just hit 20,000 subscribers just today, maybe even a few hours ago. So
we also matched Goldie's bobblehead giveaway, by the way.
Yes. So because Goldie gave one away, we gave one away. People keep saying I'm like Oprah. You get a bobblehead. You get a bobblehead. You get an SP bracelet. Anyway, so if you want a bobblehead, go in the comments.
Oprah. Just for that, honey, we'll send Oprah a bobblehead.
When you go in the comments down here and say, I want a bobblehead, or you can say, I want the Goldie bobblehead, and you get a bobblehead. That's how we do it. We're not going to just pick somebody randomly, because when we did that, then the person didn't want it, and it was a whole thing. So thank you, Goldie. That's very nice of you. Okay, so now we're almost to the Aaron super chats. You wait till we get to the Aaron super chats, folks. Ruth W. Aaron just talked about the Affinity Exchange. Affinity Exchange. That's where I met my ex who lied totally in his profile. He said he was OT3, blah, blah, blah. I did not know until after we married. Oh, Lordy. Wow. That's awesome. The Infinity. Awesome. Is that like a Scientology dating site?
Yeah, no, Aaron talked about that last night on his live stream.
Oh, my
Somebody
goodness.
asked if there was a Scientology, like, what do you
dating
call it?
Site. Yeah, like a social media or dating site.
Oh, yeah, the Affinity Exchange. That's crazy.
What do you do?
Nice to see you here.
I was trying to think, what's a Scientology thing? You postulate left or postulate right?
You're OT and you're
No, I know, but what do you do on the app? You have to two body thetans. Give this guy 5 body thetans.
I haven't been in ethics for 6 months.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Gary. Hey, you two. Hey, Gary.
Jackson.
That's Jackson from the Int Base.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, Jackson would be a great person to have on.
Come visit us in Colorado.
Oh my God, Gary did a super chat. You got to stop doing that, Gary. But I'm on the restricted list.
Let me explain that.
Yes.
At the Int Base, anyone that got in trouble or who had thoughts of leaving or who had a family member who was antagonistic to Scientology, there was a whole council called the Perimeter Council, whose job it was to make sure that you didn't escape. And if you fell into any of those categories, thoughts of leaving, mom hates Scientology, any of that, then you would be put on the restricted list, which meant you were no longer allowed to go home. So find a spot wherever it might be. Honey, didn't you sleep behind the green screen in the Cine Castle for months?
About a year, I think. Above a hallway in the castle. Yeah. Yes.
It was shitty. No matter which way you slice the cake.
I was not a big fan of Perimeter Council.
For all the people who say, "Oh, being restricted or RPF is like this Navy thing or this military thing." No. I would join the military in a heartbeat over going through any of that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there are some bad circumstances, but Scientology puts it all to shame.
Yeah. Okay. Don't forget, we're going to go through all the submissions for the Dave Miscavige Shoops of the week at the end of this video. So if you want to see those, you guys got to stay until the end, because that's when we're going to go through them. But before we go to that, last night, Aaron did a live stream and I did a super chat and he didn't put it up. So it was a $10 super chat. Just saying, mine was a $10 super chat, but that's okay. That's okay. He puts up a $9.99. I get it. He lives down in Florida. It's not as, it's not as nice here in Colorado. So $9.99 instead of, but wait a minute. I can't say that. Okay. Hold on a second. He did another one for $4.99. He says, I hear Headley has sided with that rat Hulk Hogan. Yes. So to be fair, my super chat, he was talking about the Hulk Hogan thing on how him and Hulk Hogan are in a little spat. And so
he says we're going to have to settle this in the ring. I was watching your Spy Files video where they said you were a cage fighter.
Yes.
That's pretty funny.
It was. I was like, I've read them before and I had just always assumed, he likes UFC, But then when I was actually reading the document, they were like, no, he's not a fan. He's a cage fighter. And I was like, I never said I was a cage fighter I just would have UFC parties with all these ex-Scientology people. Yeah. So anyway,
DM was shitting his pants over that. He's right.
That's right. I hear Headley has sided with that. So I said in the super chat, I'm on Team Hulk. You get him, Hulk. Anyway, so we're not solving anything in the ring. I have a very bad back. Okay, but what we are gonna solve is what's so real. It's so they're ridiculous. Okay, so we're basically I'm just gonna switch my audio. So you have to tell me if the audio doesn't sound, if anything sounds weird on it, Claire.
Okay.
So I switched over. Is that okay? Does it sound okay right now?
Yeah, you just went a little quieter, but there's no
Okay.
buzz like there was earlier. So
Okay, good. So we'll see how long this will last for. Okay, so we are very likely going to cut this video. We'll just take the audio from this and just put these slides up because these are really great. I don't want to take away from it by having Claire and I on the side, but we'll see how it is. I might just edit this out. But so yeah, let's switch over to slide mode. And this is going to be, oh wait, oh, that was so close. I almost started it at the end of the deck.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So close, folks. So
Good save,
I
honey.
dodged a bullet.
Dodged a bullet.
So this is Davey Miscavige, Shoops of the Week. These are Shoops. If you don't know what a Shoop is basically just a Photoshop, a funny Photoshop. And if they came to the email in my about page, then I got them and they're in here. And if you send them somewhere else on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, probably didn't see them and I probably didn't put them in here. So better luck next time. Better luck next time. And we're going to get right into it. So the first one is OT16 Dave. Now this one is very spooky because it's an old picture. It's actually a picture of Hubbard that was not really an authorized picture to leak out on the internet. Hubbard looks pretty bad, pretty ragged. And somebody's
look at his office space. I mean, he would have flunked an inspection in a heartbeat over
that's
there.
not a lot of that's not Photoshop.
No, it's not.
But there is a lot of attention to detail. You got to look at this. There's a little Mike Rinder bobblehead on the desk behind Hubbard's typewriter.
Oh, there's a Xenu mug.
There is a Lord Xenu mug, and there's even a David Miscavige fake Emmy on the shelf behind him on the bed behind his pillow.
Oh,
and I'm sure there's
amazing.
all kinds of other Easter eggs in here, but I just noticed them when I was editing it for the video. But yeah, so this is OT16 Dave.
Yeah.
That's my spooky music.
Nice sound effect, honey.
Okay. This is Dave the Juice Goose. And this is a picture of Dave roiding out at the gym.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
There you go. Okay, that's Dave the Juice Goose. You guys got to remember these. If you see one that you like, you got to go in the comments, and then the person that sent that is gonna get a free bobblehead. This is Davey's Navy. This is a picture of Dave. He's got a little Sea Org tie, and he's pointing at his favorite Sea Org cruise ship. And yeah, this is Dave's Navy. There you go. Here we go. It's Dave's Navy. Dave's Navy. Okay. This is Lava de Vida. This is a picture of David Miscavige inside of a volcano. I'm not sure what that means or anything, but that's what I got sent. So I'm putting it up. Okay. There you go. That's La Vida de Vida, or Lava de Vida. Okay, this is Late for a Nap Dave. Okay, and this was sent in on the email, and yeah, it's Late for a Nap Dave.
Nice sound effect. It matches the look on his face. Pretty spot on.
Yeah, that was I did a lot with that one. This is Toy Maker Dave. Okay. Toy Maker Dave. Yeah, we've got the he's making a box. I think he's painting his box up or something like that. And Toy Maker Dave.
Why weren't you at elk practice?
Why weren't you?
And hey, for all you OSA watching, this is far less harmful than having your family put up hate videos about you. So
Yeah.
fun fact.
We're not putting up hate. We haven't put up any hate videos.
We're just having some fun.
We haven't even put up we haven't even put up a hate site about Scientology. This is locked.
Spreading truth.
This is Locked Up Dave. Okay.
Best
Yep.
sound effect ever.
Locked up Dave. The height is off, but that is locked up Dave. Okay. This is propped up Dave. Okay. I'm not even sure how he got up there, but oh, he hopped up there. That's what he jumped up there. Mario jumped up there. That's how he got up there. Okay. There you go. Propped up Dave. This is Mini Dave. Mini Dave. And it looks like Hubbard is pushing him in his little cart, I think it is. Oh, they're laughing a little as they're driving down the corridor there in their Mini Me outfits. Okay, that's Mini Dave. Oh, this is the Davey Bunch. Okay, the Davey Bunch. Not sure how I ended up with this, but it's just fits to me. Yeah, there you go. The Davey Bunch. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, Sleepover Dave. Okay, Sleepover Dave. It's got a sleepover party, and then it's got him and Tommy Boy, and it looks like they are they're gossip. We gossiped all night. Sleepover Dave.
Oh my God!
There you go. That's a Sleepover Dave. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, this is Captain Crunchy. Okay. Captain Crunchy. It's Captain Crunch, and it's Crunchatize me, Captain. It says on there, and then it's got a picture of Dave in his little captain outfit, and it says Captain Crunchy.
Munchy crunchy, munch, munch, munch.
Oh, there we go. Oh, let's hear that one again. I like that one. That sounded just like Dave.
Crunchy, munch, munch, munch.
Yeah, it did.
Munch, munch.
When that's Dave in a good mood.
Munch, munch, munch.
It does. He sounds fun.
Yeah,
Munch, munch, munch.
one of those rare moments.
Munch, munch, munch.
I like that one. I think we're gonna.
Munchy crunchy,
Munch, munch, munch.
I think I might be. I think I might be impartial to that one. Now, don't let me throw off your vote because of the sound effects. Okay, if you want one of these to win and the sound effect made it bad, I'm sorry. I just thought I had the sound effects board that I've never been able to get it to work and not mess up the audio.
Just to be clear, the sound effect is no part of the voting criteria. That was added after the fact. So
Yeah, if you can hear it, awesome.
Munchy crunchy, munch, munch, munch.
Okay. Anyway, so that is those are all the Dave Shoops. We'll go through them real quick again just so you can see them without the sound effects. But you got Captain Crunchy, we got Sleepover Dave, we got the Davey Bunch, and that's Dave in the corner, by the way. If anybody missed it, he's in the lower right corner. That is an actual picture of Dave when he had like a whole 80s look, a mustache he had. And anyway, Davey Bunch. It's Mini Dave, Propped Up Dave, Locked Up Dave, Toy Maker Dave, Late for a Nap Dave, Lava Davida, Davy's Navy, Dave the Juice Goose, and OT16 Dave. And then that is this week's edition of Davey Miscavige Shoops of the Week. So in next week's Davey Miscavige Shoops of the Week, we will announce the winner of this week's Shoops of the Week. So if you know somebody who knows Photoshop, or you know Photoshop, you just get on there and you get to work on some David Miscavige Shoops.
And if we missed your submissions, send them, and we'll make sure they're included next week.
Yeah, send them to the email in the About page. You need a computer or a browser. It's there. People send me stuff all the time. So when you say you went there and it's not there, it's there because people send me stuff all the time by going there. Yes, and we will, whoever wins this, they either can get a book, a bobblehead, or an SP bracelet. That's what you win, depending on what you want. Yeah, those are the David Miscavige Shoops of the week. And
hey,
we will keep doing this until you stop sending us Shoops. So as long as we get Shoops, we're putting Shoops up because Dave deserves it. That's why, really, at the end of the day, that's the only reason. But also, some people laugh and think it's funny. And you know who thinks it's the funniest? Usually ex or current Scientologists, which we have been getting a lot of people contacting us, by the way. In the last week, I'm going to say at least 10 different either ex-Scientologist, ex-staff, or current Scientologists have emailed us and asked us or told us their story or what's going on or what they're trying to do. And some of them we're probably going to end up helping with the Aftermath Foundation if they want it and if it all works out that way. So so yeah, that's really why we're doing this, people. We're not as fun as it is to joke. It is kind of serious at the end of the day. These guys are busting up families and they're stealing money from elderly people. I mean, some of the stuff that they're doing, and you're going to find out about a lot of this stuff either on Aaron Smith Levin's channel, Growing Up in Scientology, or over here. But we got people lined up that want to tell their stories. So we're making all that work, and I'm going to finish off these spy files on myself, and then we're going to start interviewing more people. And if some of you didn't know, there's about 10 or 11 spy files that I've read online. I'm going through these documents, these secret OSA spy files. And in the last few months, I've come into the possession of 5,000 more internal Scientology spy files. So it's a massive amount of documents, and they have the craziest stuff in these documents. Even I was surprised at some of the insanity that's happening in these things.
And hey, just a reminder, we are giving away books to commemorate every 1,000 subscribers. Congrats on hitting 20K, honey.
Yep, we're giving a book away.
So comment if you'd like a book. We've given away, I think we're actually ahead of the game. We're at 27 given away so far.
Yeah, we only have 20,000 subscribers, but somehow we've given away 27 books.
Oh, good. Okay. Just a friendly reminder.
Yes. So yeah. If you need we have all you guys know the drill. If you want a bobblehead or you want an SP bracelet, you go to the SP shop. All copies of Blown for Good purchased through blownforgood.com will be signed by Claire and myself. And if you want to support the Aftermath Foundation, you can go to the aftermathfoundation.org. I keep hiding it for some. There you go. You can support the Aftermath Foundation by going to the aftermathfoundation.org. And don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 80,000 subscribers by March 13th. We're falling behind. So unless one of these videos goes viral, I don't know how I'm going to do it. We got lots of people watching that haven't subscribed, and I don't know what to do to make them subscribe. I'm pulling out everything. I'm bringing Claire on. I'm showing pictures of David Miscavige dressed as an elf.
We even have Bella in the back corner there.
I got sound effects. We got a German Shepherd in the background. I'm pulling it all out, folks. Hit the subscribe button down here somewhere. Subscribe, bell notification. We're going to do tomorrow night, Mondays, with Mike and Mark on Aaron's channel, and then we'll do a flip over to my channel. I think it's going to be at 7 p.m. Clearwater time, Central time. So that would be, I guess, no, it's Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Aaron's channel, and then probably at 7:45 we'll flip over to my channel. And yeah, that's tomorrow. So thanks for joining us, folks, and appreciate it. And until next time. Yeah, you got to point right like that, and you go right there. She's right there too.